Chapter 36. Wonderful Stories of the Two Goa Gentlemen, Mrs. Aurangabadkar. This chapter relates the wonderful stories of two gentlemen from Goa and Mrs. Aurangabadkar of Solapur. Two gentlemen. Once, two gentlemen came from Goa for taking darshan of Sai Baba and prostrated themselves before him. Though both came together, Baba asked only one of them to give him 15 rupees as dakshina, which was paid willingly. The other man voluntarily offered 35 rupees, which was rejected by Baba to the astonishment of all. Shama, who was present, asked Baba, "What is this? Both came together. Once dakshina you accept, the others, though voluntarily paid, you refuse. Why this distinction?" Baba replied, "Shama, you know nothing. I take nothing from anybody. The Masjid Mai calls for the debt. The donor pays it and becomes free. Have I any home, property or family to look after? I require nothing. I am ever free. Debt, enmity and murder have to be atoned for, as there is no escape from them." Baba then continued in his characteristic way as follows. At first he was poor and took a vow to his God that he would pay his first month's salary if he got a job. He got one for 15 rupees per month. Then he steadily got promotions. From 15 rupees he got 30, 60, 100, 200 and ultimately 700 rupees per month. But in his prosperity he forgot completely the vow he took. The force of his karma has driven him here, and I asked that amount of 15 rupees from him as dakshina. Another story. While wandering by the seaside, I came to a huge mansion and sat on its veranda. The Brahmin owner gave me a good reception and fed me sumptuously. He showed me a neat and clean place near a cupboard for sleeping. I slept there. While I was sound asleep, the man removed a laterite slab and broke the wall, crept in and scissored off all the money from my pocket. When I woke up, I found that 30,000 rupees were stolen. I was greatly distressed and sat weeping and mourning. The money was in currency notes and I thought that the Brahmin had stolen it. I lost all interest in food and drink and sat for a fortnight on the veranda bemoaning my loss. After the fortnight was over, a passing fakir saw me crying and made inquiries regarding the cause of my sorrow. I told him everything. He said, "If you act according to my bidding, you will recover your money. Go to a fakir, I shall give his whereabouts. Surrender yourself to him, he will get your money back. In the meanwhile, give up your favorite food till you recover your money." I followed the fakir's advice and got my money. Then went to the seashore where a steamer was standing, but I could not get into it as it was overcrowded. There, a good-natured man interceded for me and I got in, luckily. That brought me to another shore, from where I caught a train and came to the Masjid Mai. The story finished, and Baba asked Shama to take the guests and arrange for their feeding. Then Shama took them home and fed them. At dinner, Shama said to the guests that Baba's story was rather mysterious, as he had never gone to the seaside, never had any money, never travelled, never lost any money and never recovered it, and inquired from them whether they understood it and caught its significance. The guests were deeply moved and were shedding tears. In a choked voice they said that Baba was omniscient, infinite, the Supreme One, without a second. The story he gave out is exactly our story. What he spoke has already taken place in our case. How did he know of this is a wonder of wonders. We shall give all the details after the meals. Then, after the meals, while they were chewing betel leaves, the guests began to tell their stories. One of them said, "A hill station on the Ghats is my native place. I went to Goa to earn my living by securing a job. I took a vow to God Datta that if I got any service, I would offer him my first month's salary. By his grace, I got a job of 15 rupees, and then I got promotions as described by Baba. I did forget all about my vow. Baba has just reminded me of it in this way and recovered 15 rupees from me. It is not dakshina as one may think of it, but a repayment of an old debt and fulfillment of a long forgotten vow. Moral. In fact, Baba never begged for any money, nor allowed his bhaktas to beg. He regarded money as a danger or bar to spiritual progress and did not allow his bhaktas to fall into its clutches. Bhagat Mahalsapati is a case in point. He was very poor and could hardly make both ends meet. Baba never allowed him to make any money nor gave him anything from the Dakshina collection. Once, a kind and liberal merchant named Hansraj gave a large amount of money to Mahalsapati in Baba's presence, but Baba did not permit him to accept it. Then the second guest began his tale. My Brahmin cook was serving me faithfully for 35 years. Unfortunately, he fell into bad ways, his mind changed, and he robbed me of my treasure. By removing a laterite slab from my wall where my cupboard is fixed, he came in while we were all deep asleep and carried away all my accumulated wealth, 30,000 rupees in currency notes. I do not know how Baba mentioned the exact amount. I sat crying day and night. My inquiries came to nothing. I spent a fortnight in great anxiety. As I sat on the veranda, sad and dejected, a passing fakir saw my condition and inquired of its cause, and I told him all about it. He told me that an Avaliya by name Sai lives in Shirdi, Kopargaon Taluk. Make a vow to him and give up any food that you like best and say to him mentally that I have given up eating that food till I take your darshan. Then I took the vow and gave up eating rice and said, Baba, I'll eat it after recovering my property and after taking your darshan. 15 days passed after this. The Brahmin of his own accord came to me, returned my money and apologized, saying, I went mad and acted thus. I now place my head on your feet, please forgive me. Thus everything ended well. The fakir that met me and helped me was not seen again. An intensive desire to see Sai Baba, whom the fakir pointed out to me, arose in my mind. I thought the fakir who came all the way to my house was no other than Sai Baba. Would he, who saw me and helped me to get my lost money, ever covet to get 35 rupees? On the contrary, without expecting anything from us, he always leads us on the path of spiritual progress. I was overjoyed when I recovered my stolen property, and being ignorant, I forgot all about my vow. Then, when I went to Kolaba, one night I saw Sai Baba in my dream. This reminded me of my promised visit to Shirdi. I went to Goa and from there wanted to start for Shirdi by taking a steamer to Mumbai en route. But when I came to the harbour, I found the steamer was crowded and there was no place. The captain did not allow me, but on the intercession of a peon who was a stranger to me, I was allowed to get into the steamer which brought me to Mumbai. From there, I came by train. Surely I think that Baba is all-pervading and all-knowing. What are we and where is our home? How fortunate we are that Baba got our money back and drew us here to himself. Shirdi folks must be infinitely superior and more fortunate than we, for Baba has played, laughed, talked and lived with you all for so many years. I think that your store of good merits must be infinite. Sai is a Datta, Lord Dattatreya. He gave me a seat in the steamer and brought me here, and thus gave proof of his omniscience and omnipotence. Mrs. Aurangabadkar. A lady from Sholapur, the wife of Sakharam Aurangabadkar, had no issue during the long period of 27 years. She had made a number of vows to gods and goddesses for an issue, but was not successful. She then became almost hopeless. to make a last attempt in this matter, she came to Shirdi with her stepson Vishwanath and stayed there for 2 months serving Baba. Whenever she went to the masjid, she found Baba surrounded by devotees. She wanted to see Baba alone, fall at his feet and open her heart and pray for an issue. But she did not get any suitable opportunity. Ultimately, she requested Shama to intercede with Baba for her when he was alone. Shama said to her that Baba's darbar was open. Still, he would try for her and that the Lord might bless her. He asked her to sit ready with a coconut and joss sticks in the open courtyard at the time of Baba's meals, and that when he beckoned to her, she should come up. One day, after dinner, when Shama was wiping Baba's wet hands with a towel, the latter pinched Shama's cheek. Shama, feigning anger, said, "Deva, is it proper for you to pinch me like this? We don't want such a mischievous God who pinches us like this. Are we your dependents? Is this the fruit of our intimacy?" Baba replied, "O Shama, during the 72 generations that you were with me, I never pinched you till now, and now you resent my touching you?" Shama replied, "I want a God who will always love us and give us new dishes to eat. We do not want any reward from you or heaven. Let our faith unto your feet be ever awake." Baba said, "Yes, I have indeed come for that. I have been feeding and nursing you, and have got great love and affection for you." Then Baba went up and took his seat. Shama beckoned to the lady. She came up, bowed down, and presented the coconut and joss sticks. Baba shook the coconut, which was dry. The kernel within rolled and made a noise. Baba said, "Shama, this is rolling. See what it says?" Shama: "The woman prays that a child should similarly roll in her womb. So please give her the coconut with your blessing." Baba said, "Will the coconut give her any issue? How foolish people are to fancy such things." Shama said, "I know the power of your words and blessing. Your word will give her a series of children. You're wrangling and not giving real blessing." The parley went on for a while. Baba repeatedly ordered to break the coconut, and Shama pleaded for the gift of the entire fruit to the lady. Finally, Baba yielded and said she will have an issue. Shama asked, "When?" Baba said, "In 12 months. At this, the coconut was broken into 2 parts. One was eaten by the 2, the other was given to the lady. Then Shama turned up to the lady and said, "Dear lady, you are a witness to my words. If within 12 months you do not get a child, I will break a coconut against this Deva's head and drive him out of this masjid. If I fail in this, I will not call myself Madhav. You will soon realize what I say." The lady delivered a son in a year's time, and the son was brought to Baba in his 5th month. The couple, both husband and wife, prostrated before Baba, and the grateful father paid a sum of 500 rupees, which was spent in constructing a shed for Baba's horse, Shyam Karna. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
Nityam Suttam Nirapasam Nirakaram Niranjanam Nityabhotam Chitanandam Sadgurum Tam Namamyaham Nityabhotam Chitanandam Sadgurum Tam Namamyaham.
Chapter 37. Chavadi Procession. In this chapter, Hemat Pant, after making some preliminary observations on some points of Vedanta, describes the Chavadi procession. Preliminary. Blessed is Sai's life for his devotees. Blessed is his daily routine. His ways and actions are indescribable. Sometimes he was intoxicated with Brahmanand, divine bliss, and at other times completely self-absorbed. While doing so many things at the same time, he was yet unconcerned with them. Though he seemed at times quite inactive, he was not idle or dozing. He always abided in his own self. Though he looked calm and placid as a sea, he was deep and unfathomable. Who can describe his ineffable nature? He regarded men as brothers, women as sisters and mothers. He was a perfect celibate, as everybody knows. May the knowledge we got in his company last long unto death. Let us ever serve him with wholehearted devotion to his feet. Let us see him in all beings, and let us constantly remember his name. Hemant Pant, after making some lengthy dissertations on some topics of Vedanta, which he himself considers as a digression, goes on to describe the Chavadi procession. Chavadi procession. Baba's dormitory has already been described. One day he slept in the masjid and on the next in the Chavadi near the masjid. He slept in the masjid and in the Chavadi on alternate days. This alternate sleeping at both these places went on till Baba's Mahasamadhi. From 10th December 1909, devotees began to offer regular worship to Baba in the Chavadi. This we will now describe with his grace. When the day of retiring to the Chavadi came, people flocked to the masjid and did bhajan in the mandap for a few hours. Behind them was a beautiful palanquin, to the right a Tulsi Vrindavan, and in front Baba adorned his seat, and there were devotees singing bhajans. Men and women who had a liking for the bhajan came in time. Some took tal, chiplis and kartal, mridang, khanjiri and ghol, all in their hands, and conducted the bhajan. Sai Baba was the magnet. He drew all the devotees to him. Outside in the open, some trimmed the divatyas, some decorated the palanquin, and some stood with cane sticks in their hands and hailed victory to Baba. The corners were decorated with buntings. In the masjid, rows of burning oil lamps shed their light. Baba's horse, Shyamkarna, stood fully decorated outside. Then Tatya Patil came with a group of men to Baba and asked him to be ready. Baba sat quiet in his place till Tatya came and helped him get up by putting his arm under Baba's arm. Tatya called Baba by the name of Mama or maternal uncle. Really, their relationship was extremely intimate. Baba wore on his body the usual kafni, took his satka under his armpit, and after taking his chilim and tobacco and placing a cloth over his shoulder, became ready to start. Then Tatya placed a golden embroidered beautiful shela or shawl over his body. After this, Baba himself put a few fuel sticks in the dhuni to keep it alive, and with his right hand extinguished the lamp burning near the dhuni, and then started for the Chavadi. Then all sorts of musical instruments, band and horns gave out different sounds, and the fireworks exhibited various coloured views. Men and women, singing Baba's name, started walking, doing bhajan to the accompaniment of mridang and veena. Some danced with joy and some carried various flags. The bhaldars announced Baba's name when he came on the steps of the masjid. On the two sides of Baba stood persons who held chamar and others who fanned Baba. On the way were spread folds of cloth which Baba walked on, being supported by devotees' hands. Tatya Patil held the left hand and Mahal Sapati the right, and Bapu Sahib Jog held the chhatra or the umbrella over his head. In this fashion Baba marched on to the Chavadi. The fully decorated horse named Shyamkarna led the way, and behind him were all the carriers, waiters, musical players, and the crowd of devotees. Harinam, the name of Lord, was being chanted to the accompaniment of music, as also the name of Sai. In this manner, the procession reached the corner, and everyone joined the party, seemed pleased and delighted. On reaching this corner, Baba stood facing the Chavadi and shone with a peculiar aura. It seemed as if the face of Baba took over the glory of the rising sun. Baba stood there with a concentrated mind, facing the north, as if he was signaling something. All the instruments played music, while Baba moved his right hand up and down for some time. Kaka Sahib Dikshit at this time came forward with a silver plate containing flowers smeared with gulal and threw them on Baba's body off and on. The musical instruments played the best at this juncture, and Baba's face beamed with radiance and beauty, and all the persons viewed this lustre to their heart's content. Words fail to describe the splendor of the scene. Sometimes Mahalsapati began to dance, as if possessed by some deity, but all were surprised to see that Baba's concentration was least disturbed. With a lantern in his hand, Tatya Patil walked on Baba's left side, and Bhagat Mahalsapati on the right, holding in his hand the hem of Baba's garment. What a beautiful procession, and what an expression of devotion! To witness this, men and women, poor and rich, flocked there. Baba walked at a very slow pace. Bhaktas followed on both sides with love and devotion. With joy permeating the whole atmosphere of the place, the procession reached the Chavadi. Those days are gone now. Nobody can see them in the future. But by remembering and visualizing that sight, we can bring solace and ecstasy to our minds. The Chavadi was also fully decorated with a good white ceiling mirrors and many sorts of lamps. On reaching there, Tatya went ahead and spread an asan, and placing a bolster, made Baba sit there and made him wear angharka. Then the devotees worshipped him in various ways. They put a crown on his head with a tuft of bow, placed garlands of flowers and jewels around his neck, and marking his forehead with musk mixed vertical lines, they gazed at him for long to their heart's content. They changed his headdress now and then, held it aloft on the head, fearing that Baba might throw it away. Baba knew what the bhaktas wished for and meekly submitted to all their ways without objection. With these adornments, he looked wonderful and beautiful. Nana Sahib Nimonkar held the chhatra with its beautiful pendants which moved in a circle with its supporting stick. Bapu Sahib Jog washed his feet in a silver dish, offered arghya and worship with due formalities, then smeared his arms with chandan paste and offered him tambul. Baba sat on the asan while Tatya and others kept standing. When Baba sat on the gaddi, supporting himself against the bolster, devotees on both sides waved chamars and fans. Shama then prepared the chillam and handed it over to Tatya Patil, who drew a flame out of it by inhaling a deep breath through his mouth and then gave it to Baba. After Baba had a smoke, it was given to Bhagat Mahalsapati and then it was passed round to all. Blessed was the inanimate chillam. It had first to undergo many ordeals of penance, such as being kneaded by pot makers, dried in the sun and burnt in the fire, and then it had the good fortune to get the contact of Baba's hand and his kiss. After this function was over, devotees put garlands of flowers around his neck and gave him scent and bunches of flowers. Baba, who was an incarnation of dispassion, cared a fig for all these necklaces of jewels and garlands of flowers and other decorations. But out of real love to his devotees, he allowed them to have their own way and to please themselves. Finally, Bapu Sahib Jog waved the arati over Baba, observing all formalities, and the musical instruments played their auspicious tunes. When this arati was over, the devotees returned home, one by one saluting Baba and taking his leave. When Tatya Patil, after offering chillim, attar and rose water, stood to depart, Baba said to him lovingly, "Guard me properly. Go if you like, but return sometimes at night and inquire for me." On replying in the affirmative, Tatya Patil left the Chavadi and went home. Then Baba himself prepared his bed. He arranged some sheets one upon another, and thus making his bed, went to rest. We shall also now take rest and close this chapter with a request to the readers that they should remember Baba and his Chavadi procession daily before they retire and go to bed. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 38. Baba's Handi, Disrespect of Shrine, Cup of Buttermilk. In the last chapter we described Baba's Chavadi procession. In this, we take up Baba's handi or cooking pot and some other subjects. Preliminary. O blessed Sadguru Sai, we bow to you, who has given happiness to the whole world, accomplished the welfare of the devotees, and have removed the affliction of those who have resorted to your feet. By being very liberal and also being the protector and savior of the bhaktas who surrender themselves to you, you have incarnated yourself in this world to oblige the mankind and do them good. The liquid essence of pure self was poured into the mold of Brahma, and out of this has come out the crest jewel of the saints, Sai. This Sai is Atmaram himself. He is the abode of the perfect divine bliss. After having attained himself all objects of life, he made his devotees established on the path. Baba's Handi. Different sadhanas are prescribed in our scriptures for different ages. Tapa is recommended for Krita age, Dhyan for Treta age, Yajna for Dwapara age, and Dan for Kali Yuga. Of all the charities, giving food is the best one. We are much perturbed when we get no food at noon. Other beings feel similarly under such circumstances. After knowing this, he who gives food to the poor and the hungry is the best donor or charitable person. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, food is Brahma. From food all the creatures are born, and by food they live. And after having departed into food again, they enter. When an Atithi comes to your door at noon, it is our duty to welcome him by giving him food. Other kinds of charities, namely giving away wealth, property and clothes, require some discrimination, but in the matter of food, no such consideration is necessary. If anybody comes to our door at noon, he should be served forthwith. And if lame, crippled, blind and diseased persons come, they should be fed first, and the able-bodied persons and our relatives later. The merit of feeding the former is much greater than that of feeding the latter. Other kinds of charities are imperfect without this annadan, just as stars without the moon, necklace without its pendant, crown without its pinnacle, pond without a lotus, bhajan without devotion, married lady without the kumkumar, song without a sweet voice, or buttermilk without salt. Just as Varan excels all other dishes, Annadan is the best of all merits. Now, let us see how Baba prepared food and distributed it to others. It has been stated before that Baba required very little food for himself, and whatever little he wanted was obtained by begging from a few houses. But when he decided to distribute food to all, he made preparations himself. He depended on nobody and troubled none in this matter. First, he went to the bazaar and bought all the things like corn, flour, spices by paying cash. He also did the grinding in the open courtyard of the masjid. He arranged a big hearth, and after lighting a fire, he kept a handi over it with a proper measure of water. There were two kinds of handis, one small and the other big. The former provided food for 50 persons, the latter for 100. Sometimes he cooked meethe chawal, sweet rice, and at other times biryani with meat. At times in the boiling varan, he let in small balls of thick or flat bread of wheat flour. He grinded the spices on a stone slab and put thin pulverized spices into the cooking pot. He took all the pains to make the dishes very palatable. He prepared ambil, by boiling jwari flour in water and later mixing it to buttermilk and then boil both together. With the food, he distributed this ambel to all alike. To see whether the food was properly cooked or not, Baba rolled up the sleeve of his kafni and put his bare arm in the boiling cauldron without fear and churned the whole mass from side to side and up and down. There was no mark of burn on his arm nor fear on his face. When the cooking was over, Baba got the pots in the masjid and had them duly consecrated by the Maulvi. First, he sent part of the food as prasad to Mahal Sapati and Tatya Patil, and then he served the remaining contents with his own hand to all the poor and helpless people to their heart's content. Really blessed and fortunate must be those people who got food prepared by Baba and served by him. Somebody may raise a point here and ask, did Baba distribute vegetarian and non-vegetarian food as prasad to all his devotees? The answer is plain and simple. Those who were accustomed to non-vegetarian food were given non-veg food from the handi as prasad, and those who were not so accustomed were given vegetarian meals. There is a principle that when a guru himself gives anything as prasad, the disciple who thinks and doubts whether it's acceptable or otherwise goes to perdition. In order to see whether any disciple has imbibed this principle, Baba at times put them to test. For instance, on an Ekadashi day, he gave some rupees to Dada Kelkar and asked him to go in person to Kurhala to get meat from there. This Dada Kelkar was an orthodox Brahmin and stuck to all orthodox manners in his life. He knew that offering wealth, grain and clothes to a Sadguru was not enough, but that implicit obedience to him and prompt compliance with his order was a real dakshina that pleased him most. So, Dada Kelkar dressed himself and started for the place. Then Baba called him back and said, "Don't go yourself, send somebody else." Then Dada sent his own servant Pandu for the purpose. When Baba saw him going, he asked Dada to call him back and cancelled the program. On another occasion, Baba asked Dada just to see how saltish the biryani was done. The latter replied casually it was all right. Then Baba said to him, "Neither have you seen it with your own eyes, not tasted it with your tongue. Then how could you say it was good? Just take off the lid and see." While saying this, Baba caught his arm and thrust it into the pot and added, "Take some out of this, leaving aside your orthodox ways. Taste a little." When a wave of real love rises in a mother's mind, she pinches her child, and when he begins to cry, she hugs him close to her bosom. Similarly, Baba, in a true motherly way, pinched Dada Kelkar in this way. Really, no saint or guru will ever force his orthodox disciple to eat food forbidden in his religion. The handi business went on for some time till 1910 and was stopped thereafter. As stated before, Das Ganu spread the fame of Baba by his kirtans far and wide in the Mumbai presidency, and people from that part of the country began to flock to Shirdi, which became very soon a place of pilgrimage. The devotees brought with them various articles for presentation and offered various dishes of food as naivedya. The quantity of naivedya offered by them was so much the fakirs and paupers could feed themselves to their heart's content, leaving some surplus behind. Before stating how naivedya was distributed, we shall refer to Nana Sahib Chandorkar's story showing Baba's regard for local shrines and deities. Nana Sahib's disrespect of a shrine. By drawing inferences or guessing in their own way, some people said that Sai was a Brahmin and some said he was a Muslim. In reality, he belonged to no caste. No one knew definitely when he was born and in what community and who his parents were. Then how could he be a Muslim or a Brahmin? If he was a Muslim, how could he keep his dhuni ever burning in the masjid? How could there be a Tulsi Vrindavan there? How could he allow the blowing of conches and the ringing of bells? How could he allow all the different forms of Hindu worship there? Had he been a Muslim, could he have ears pierced? And could he have spent money from his pocket for repairing Hindu temples? On the contrary, he never tolerated the slightest disrespect to shrines and deities. Once, Nana Sahib Chandorkar came to Shirdi with his sadhu, husband of his wife's sister, Mr. Biniwale. When they went to masjid and sat before Baba, the latter suddenly got angry with Nana Sahib and said, "You have been so long in my company, then why do you behave like this?" Nana Sahib at first did not understand anything and humbly requested Baba to explain. Baba asked him when did he come to Kopargaon and how he came to Shirdi from there. Nana Sahib then at once realized his mistake. He usually worshipped the shrine of Datta on the banks of the Godavari at Kopargaon on his way to Shirdi. But this time he dissuaded his relative, who was a Datta Bhakt, from going to that shrine in order to avoid delay and drove straight. He confessed all this to Baba and told him that while bathing in the Godavari, a big thorn went into his foot and gave him much trouble. Baba said that was a slight punishment he met and warned him to be more careful in the future. Kala, hodgepodge. To revert to the distribution of Naivedya. After the Aarti was over, and after Baba sent away the people with Udi and blessings, he went inside and sat behind a curtain with his back to the nimbar for meals, with 2 rows of the intimate devotees, one on each side. The Bhaktas brought Naivedya containing a variety of food such as puris, mande, polis, basandi, sanza, fine rice, etc., and kept waiting outside for prasad consecrated by Baba. All the foods were mixed in a hodgepodge and placed before Baba. He offered it to the gods and consecrated it. Then portions of the same were given to the persons waiting outside, and the rest was served to the group of devotees inside with Baba at the center. The Bhaktas sitting in 2 rows then dined to their heart's content. Baba asked Shama and Nana Sahib Limonkar daily to serve the consecrated food to all the persons sitting inside and look to their individual needs and comforts. This they did very carefully and willingly. Every morsel of the food thus partaken gave them fulfillment and satisfaction. Such sweet, lovely and consecrated food it was, ever auspicious and ever holy. Cup of buttermilk. Once Hemad Pant had eaten to his full capacity in this company when Baba offered him a cup of buttermilk. Its white appearance pleased him, but there was no space for it. He, however, took only a sip. On seeing his faltering attitude, Baba said, "Drink it all. You will not get such opportunity hereafter." Hemad Pant drank it all off then and found that Baba's words were prophetic, for he passed away after a brief period. Now, readers, we have certainly to thank Hemad Pant. He drank the cup of buttermilk, but has supplied us with sufficient quantity of nectar in the form of Baba's Leelas. Let us drink this nectar to our heart's content and be satisfied and happy. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 39. Baba's knowledge of Sanskrit. His interpretation of a verse from Gita. Construction of the Samadhi Mandir. This chapter deals with Baba's interpretation of a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. As some people believe that Baba had little knowledge of Sanskrit, but by the interpretation of Nana Sahib Chandorkar's question, Hemad Pant refuted that charge in chapter number 50, and as it deals with the same subject matter, it is incorporated in this chapter. Preliminary. Blessed is Shirdi and blessed is Dwarkamai, where Sri Sai lived and moved until he took his Mahasamadhi. Blessed are the people of Shirdi, whom he obliged and for whom he lived there. Shirdi was a small village first, but it attained importance on account of his contact and became a tirtha, holy place of pilgrimage. Equally blessed are the women folk of Shirdi. Blessed is their whole and undivided faith in him. They sang the glories of Baba while bathing, grinding, pounding corn, and doing other household work. Baba's interpretation. Nobody believed that Baba knew Sanskrit. One day, he surprised all by giving an interpretation of a verse from the Gita to Nana Sahib Chandorkar. A brief account about this matter was written by Mr. B.B. Dev, retired Mamlatdar, and published in Marathi in Sri Sai Leela magazine, Volume 4. Short accounts of the same are also published in Sai Baba, page 36, both by B.V. Nrsimhaswamy. Mr. B.V. Dev has also given an English version of this in his statement dated 27/9/1936 and published on page 66 of Devotee's Experience Part 3 by Nrsimhaswamy. As Mr. Dev has got first-hand information about this subject from Nana Sahib himself, we give below his version. Nana Sahib Chandorkar was a good student of Vedanta. He had read Gita with commentaries. He fancied that Baba knew nothing of Sanskrit texts. So, Baba one day pricked the bubble. These were the days before crowds flocked to Baba, when Baba had individual meetings at the mosque with such devotees. Nana was sitting near Baba and massaging his legs and muttering something under his breath. Here is a dialogue between Baba and Nana. Baba: Nana, what are you mumbling yourself? Nana: I'm reciting a shloka. Baba: What shloka? Nana: From the Bhagavad Gita. Baba: Say it loudly. Nana then recited Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 34, which is as follows. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina satatva darshina. Baba: Nana, do you understand that? Nana: Yes. Baba: If you do, then tell me its meaning. Nana: It means this. Making Shashtanga Namaskar, that is prostration, asking the Guru, serving him, learn what this knowledge is. Then those who have attained the real knowledge of the Sadvastu or Brahma will give you Upadesh of knowledge. Baba: Nana, I do not want this sort of collected purport of the whole stanza. Give me each word, its grammatical force and meaning. Then Nana explained word by word. Baba: Nana, is it enough to merely make prostration? Nana: I do not know any other meaning for the word pranipat than making prostration. Baba: What is pariprashna? Nana: Asking questions. Baba: What does prashna mean? Nana: The same, questioning. Baba: If pariprashna means the same as prashna, why did Vyasa add the prefix pari? Was Vyasa off his head? Nana: I do not know of any other meaning for the word pariprashna. Baba: Seva. What sort of seva is meant? Nana: Just what we are doing to you. Baba: Is it enough to render such service? Nana: I do not know what more is signified by the word seva. Baba: In the next line, upadekshanti te jnanam, can you read any other word instead of jnanam? Nana: Yes. Baba: What word? Nana: Ajnanam. Baba: Taking that word instead of jnan, is any meaning made out of this verse? Nana: No, Shankara Bhashya gives no such construction. Baba: Never mind if he does not. Is there any objection to using the word Agyan if it gives a better sense? Nana: I do not understand how to construe by placing Agyan in it. Baba: Why does Krishna refer Arjun to Tattvadarshis to do his prostration, interrogation and service? Was not Krishna a Tattvadarshi, in fact Gyan itself? Nana. Yes, he was. But I do not make out why he referred Arjun to Gyanis. Baba, have you not understood this? Nana was humiliated. His pride was knocked down. Then Baba began to explain. It is not enough merely to prostrate before the Gyanis. We must make Sarvasva Sharanagati, complete surrender to the Sadguru. Mere questioning is not enough. The question must not be made with any improper motive or attitude, or to trap the Guru and catch mistakes in the answer, or out of idle curiosity. It must be earnest with a view to achieve spiritual progress or liberation. Seva is not rendering service with a feeling that one is free to offer or refuse service. One must feel that he is not the master of the body, that the body is Guru's and exists merely to render service to him. If this is done, the Sadguru will show you what the knowledge referred to in the previous stanza is. Nana did not understand what is meant by saying that a Guru teaches a Gyan. Baba, how is Gyan Updesh, that is, imparting of realization, to be effected? Destroying ignorance is Gyan. Removal of ignorance is, O Arjun, if dream and sleep disappear, you are yourself. It is like that, says the Bhagavad Gita. It also says, is there anything different or independent in Gyan besides the destruction of ignorance? Expelling darkness means light. Destroying duality means non-duality. Whenever we speak of destroying Dvaita, we speak of Advaita. Whenever we talk of destroying darkness, we talk of light. If we have to realize the Advaita state, the feeling of Dvaita in ourselves has to be removed. That is a realization of the Advaita state. Who can speak of Advaita while remaining in the Dvaita state? Unless one gets into that state of non-duality, how can one know it and realize it? Again, the Shishya or the disciple, like the Satguru, is the embodiment of Gyan. The difference between the two lies in the attitude, high realization and unrivaled capacity and Aishwarya Yoga or divine powers. The Sadguru is Nirgun, Sat Chit Anand. He has indeed taken human form to elevate mankind, but his real Nirgun nature is not destroyed thereby, even a bit. His existence or reality, divine power and wisdom remain undiminished. The disciple also is in fact of the same Swarupa, but it is overlaid by the effect of the sanskars of innumerable births in the shape of ignorance, which veils his view that he is Shuddha Chaitanya. As stated therein, he gets the impressions, I am Jiva, a creature, meek and poor. The Guru has to root out these offshoots of ignorance and has to give Upadesh or instructions. To the disciple, held spellbound for endless generations by the ideas of his being a Jiva, the Guru imparts the teaching, you are God, you are mighty and opulent. Then he realizes that he is God really. The perpetual delusion under which the disciple is laboring, that he is the body, that he is a creature or Jiva or ego, that God, Paramatma and the world are different from him, is an ignorance inherited from innumerable past births. From actions based on it, he has derived his joy, sorrows and mixtures of both. To remove this delusion, this error, this root ignorance, he must start the inquiry. How did the ignorance arise? Where is it? And to show him, this is called the Guru's Updesh. The following are the instances of a Gyan. I am a Jiva. I am the body. God, world and Jiva are different. I am not God. Not knowing that body is not the soul. Not knowing that God, world and Jiva are one. Unless these errors are exposed to his view, the disciple cannot learn what is God Jiva, world, body, how they are interrelated and whether they are different from each other or are one and the same. To teach him these and destroy his ignorance is this instruction in Gyan or Agyan. Why should Gyan be imparted to the Jiva? Updesh is merely to show him his error and destroy his ignorance. Construction of the Samadhi Mandir. Baba has never made any fuss about the things which he wanted to accomplish, but he so skillfully arranged the circumstances that the people were surprised at the slow but sure results attained. The construction of the Samadhi Mandir is an instance. Shriman Bapu Saheb Bhuti, the famous multimillionaire of Nagpur, lived in Shirdi with his family. Once, an idea arose in his mind that he should have a building of his own there. Sometimes after this, while he was sleeping in the Dixit Vada, he got a vision. Baba appeared in his dream and ordered him to build a Vada with a temple. Shama, who was sleeping there, also got a similar vision. When Bapu Saheb awakened, he saw Shama crying and asked the latter as to why he was in tears. The latter replied that in his vision, Baba came to him and ordered distinctly, "Build the Vada with the temple. I shall fulfill the desires of all." On hearing the sweet and loving words of Baba, I was overpowered with emotion. My throat was choked, my eyes were overflowing with tears, and I began to cry. Bapu Saheb was surprised to see that both their visions tallied. Being a rich and capable man, he decided to build a Vada there and drew up a plan with Shama. Kaka Sahib Dikshit also approved of it, and when it was placed before Baba, he also sanctioned it immediately. Then the construction work was duly started, and under the supervision of Shama, the ground floor, the cellar and the well were completed. Baba, on his way to and from the Lendi, also suggested some improvements. Further work was entrusted to Bapu Sahib Jog, and when it was going on, an idea struck Bapu Sahib Bhuti's mind that there should be an open space of platform, and in the center, the image of Murlidhar should be installed. He asked Shama to refer this matter to Baba and get his consent. The latter asked Baba about this when he was just passing by the Vada. On hearing Shama, Baba gave his consent, saying, "After the temple is complete, I will come there to stay." And staring at the Vada, he added, "After the Vada is complete, we shall use it. We shall live, move and play there, embrace each other and be happy." Then Shama asked Baba whether this was the auspicious time to begin the foundation work of the central room of the shrine. The latter answered in the affirmative. Then Shama got a coconut broken there and started the work. In due time, the work was completed, and an order was also placed for making a good image of Murlidhar. But before it was ready, a new situation turned up. Baba became seriously ill. Bapu Sahib became very sad and dejected, thinking that if Baba passed away, his Vada would not be consecrated by the holy touch of Baba's feet, and all his money, about 1,00,000 rupees, would be wasted away. But the words, "Keep me in the Vada," which came out of Baba's mouth just before his passing away, consoled not only Bapu Sahib but one and all. In due time, Baba's holy body was placed and preserved in the central shrine meant for Murlidhar. And Baba himself became Murlidhar, and the Vada thus became the Samadhi Mandir of Sai Baba. His wonderful Leela is unfathomable. Blessed and fortunate is Bapu Sahib Bhuti, in whose Vada lies the holy and the pure body of Baba. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
Om Sai Baba, Shri Sai Baba, Jai Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba. Om Sai Baba, Shri Sai Baba, Jai Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba.
सच्चिदानन्द गुरु ब्रह्मानन्द गुरु नित्यानन्द गुरु साईराम
सच्चिदानन्द गुरु ब्रह्मानन्द गुरु नित्यानन्द गुरु साईराम
नारायणं भज रे मानस
नारायणं भज रे मानस
सिद्धेश्वर साई बाबा परमात्मने साई बाबा
ओम साई बाबा श्री साई बाबा जय साई बाबा शिरडी साई बाबा ओम साई बाबा श्री साई बाबा जय साई बाबा शिरडी साई बाबा
अभय प्रदाय साई बाबा
अभय प्रदाय शिरडी बाबा
जीवाधार श्री साई बाबा
जीवाधार श्री साई बाबा
शेष साई श्री साई बाबा लक्ष्मी नारायण श्री साई बाबा
ओम साई बाबा श्री साई बाबा जय साई बाबा शिरडी साई बाबा
सच्चिदानंद गुरु ब्रह्मानंद गुरु नित्यानंद गुरु साईराम
ओम साई राम जय साई राम
श्री साईराम श्री साईराम
Chapter 40 Stories of Baba. Attending Mrs. Dev's Udyapan ceremony as a sannyasi with two others, visiting Hemat Pant's house in the form of his picture. In this chapter we give two stories. How Baba attended the Udyapan ceremony organized by Mr. B.V. Dev's mother at his house at Dahanu. And second, how Baba attended the Shimga dinner party in Hemat Pant's house at Bandra. Preliminary. Blessed is Sri Sai Samarth, who gives instructions in both temporal and spiritual matters to his devotees and makes them happy by enabling them to achieve the goal of their life. Sai, when places his hands on their heads, transfers his power to them and thus destroying the sense of differentiation makes them attain the unattainable thing. He who embraces the bhaktas who prostrate themselves before him with no sense of duality or differentiation, he becomes one with the bhaktas, as the sea with the rivers. Now, to revert to the stories of this chapter. Mrs. Dev's Udyapan ceremony. Mr. B.V. Dev was a Mamlatdar at Dahanu in Thana district. His mother had observed 25 or 30 religious vows and an Udyapan ceremony in connection therewith was to be performed. The ceremony included the feeding of 100 or 200 Brahmins. Mr. Dev fixed a date for the ceremony and wrote a letter to Bapu Sahib Jog asking him to request Sai Baba on his behalf to attend the dinner of the ceremony as without his presence it would be incomplete. Bapu Sahib Jog read out the letter to Baba. Baba noted carefully the pure-hearted invitation and said, I always think of him who remembers me. I require no conveyance, carriage, tonga, train or aeroplane. I manifest myself to him who lovingly calls me. Write to him a reply that 3 of us, myself, yourself and a third person will go and attend it. Mr. Jog informed Mr. Dev of what Baba said. The latter was much pleased, but he knew that Baba never went to any place except Rahata, Rui and Nimgaon in person. He also thought that nothing was impossible for Baba, as he was all-pervading and that he might suddenly come in any form and fulfill his words. A few days before this, a sannyasi in Bengali dress and professing to work for the cause of the protection of the cows came to the station master at Dahanu to collect donations. The latter told him to go into the town and see the Mamlatdar, Mr. Dev, and with his help collect funds. Just then, the Mamlatdar happened to come there. The station master then introduced the sannyasi to him. Both sat talking on the platform. Mr. Dev told him that a subscription list for some other charitable cause had already been prepared by the leading citizen Rao Sahib Narottam Shetty, and so it was not proper to start another subscription list, and that it would be better if he would visit the place after 2 or 4 months. Hearing this, the sannyasi left the place. About a month later, the sannyasi came in a Tunga, which stopped in front of Mr. Dev's house at about 10 in the morning. Dev thought that he had come for donations. On seeing him busy with the preparations of the ceremony, the sannyasi said he had not come for money, but for meals. Dev said, "All right, you're welcome in the house." The sannyasi said, "2 lads are with me." Dev said, "Well, come with them." As there was about 2 hours for the meals to be served, Dev inquired where he should send for them. He said it was not necessary, as he would come himself at the appointed time. Dev asked him to come at noon. Exactly at 12 o'clock, the trio came, joined the party, and after feeding themselves, went away. After the ceremony was finished, Dev wrote a letter to Bapu Sahib Jog complaining of Baba's breach of promise. Jog went to Baba with the letter, but before it was opened, Baba spoke. He says that I promised him to come but deceived him. Tell him that I did attend the dinner with 2 others, but he failed to recognize me. Then why did he call me at all? He thought that the sannyasi came to ask for subscription money. Did I not remove his doubt in that respect? And did I not say that I would come with 2 others? And did not the trio come in time and have their meals? See, to keep my words, I would sacrifice my life. I would never be untrue to my words. This reply pleased Jog's heart, and he communicated the whole reply to Dev. As soon as he read it, he burst into tears of joy, but he took himself to task mentally for vainly blaming Baba. He wondered how he was deceived by the sannyasi's prior visit and his coming to him for subscriptions, how he also failed to catch the significance of the sannyasi's words that he would come with 2 others for meals. This story clearly shows that when the devotees surrender themselves completely to their Sadguru, he sees to it that the religious functions in their houses are duly executed and complied with all the necessary formalities. Hemad Pant's Shimga dining. Now, let us take another story which shows how Baba appeared in the form of his picture and fulfilled the desire of his devotee. In 1917, in the morning of the full moon day, Hemad Pant had a vision. Baba appeared to him in his dream in the form of a well-dressed sannyasi, woke him up and said that he would come to him for meals that day. The vision constituted a part of the dream. When he fully woke up, he saw neither Sai nor any other sannyasi. But when he began to recollect the dream, he remembered each and every word the sannyasi uttered in his dream. Though he was in contact with Baba for 7 years and always meditated on Baba, he never expected that Baba would come to his house for meals. However, being much pleased with Baba's words, he went to his wife and informed her that being the holy day, a sannyasi was coming for meals and that some more rice should be prepared. She inquired about the guest, who he was and where he was coming from. Then, not to cause any misunderstanding, he gave her the truth and told her about the dream. She doubtingly asked whether it was possible that Baba should come there from Shirdi, leaving the dainty dishes there for accepting their coarse food. Hemat Pant then assured her that Baba might not come in person, but he might attend in the form of a guest, and that they would lose nothing if they cooked some more rice. After this, the preparations for the dining went on, and it was ready at noon. The Holika worship was through, and the leaves were spread and arranged with rangoli around them. 2 rows were arranged with a central seat between them for the honorable guest. All the members of the family, sons, grandsons, daughters and son-in-law came and occupied their seats, and the serving of the various items commenced. While this was being done, everybody was waiting for the guest, but none turned up, although it was past noon. Then the entrance was closed. The Anna Shuddhi or ghee was served. This was a signal to start eating. Formal offering to the Vaishvadeva of fire and Naivedya to Sri Krishna were also over, and the members were about to begin when footsteps in the staircase were heard distinctly. Hemat Pant went immediately and opened the door and saw 2 men there, Ali Muhammad and Maulana Ismu Mujawar. These 2 persons, seeing that meals were laid out and all the members were about to begin eating, apologized to Hemat Pant and requested him to excuse their interference. They said, "You left your seat and came running to us. Others are waiting for you. So please take this thing. I shall relate all about it later at your convenience." Saying so, he took out from under his arm a packet wrapped in an old newspaper and placed it on the table. Hemat Pant uncovered the packet and saw, to his great wonder and pleasant surprise, a big and nice picture of Sai Baba. On seeing it, he was much moved. Tears ran down from his eyes and hair stood on end all over his body. And he bent and placed his head on the feet of Baba in the picture. He thought that Baba had blessed him by this miracle. Out of curiosity, he asked Ali Muhammad how he got this picture. Ali Muhammad said he bought it from a shop and that he would give all the details about it later, and wished that all the members were waiting for him, he should go and join them. Hemat Pant thanked him, bade him goodbye and returned to the dining hall. The picture was placed on the central seat reserved for the guest, and after making the due offering of the Naivedya, the whole party commenced eating and finished it in proper time. On seeing the beautiful form of Sai in the picture, everybody was extremely pleased and wondered how all this happened. This is how Sai Baba fulfilled his words, uttered by him in the dream of Hemat Pant. The story of the picture with all its details, namely how Ali Muhammad got it, why he bought it and gave it to Hemat Pant, is reserved for the next chapter. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 41. Story of the picture, stealing the rags and reading of Dhyaneshwari. As stated in the last chapter, we continue here the story of the picture. 9 years after the incident described in the last chapter, Ali Muhammad met Hemat Pant again and related to him the following story. One day, while wandering in the streets of Mumbai, he bought the picture from a street hawker. Then he got it framed and set it on a wall in his house at Bandra. As he loved Baba, daily he took darshan of it. 3 months before he gave the picture to Hemat Pant, he was suffering from an abscess or swelling on his leg. An operation was performed, and he was recovering in the house of his brother-in-law, Mr. Noor Muhammad Peerboy in Mumbai. For 3 months, His house in Bandra was closed and nobody was living there. Only the pictures of the Baba Abdul Rahman, Maulana Sahib Muhammad Hussain, Sai Baba, Baba Tajuddin and a few other saints who were living were there. The wheel of time did not even spare these. All the pictures met their fate. But how Sai Baba's picture escaped it, nobody has been able to explain to me till now. It shows the all-pervasiveness, omnipresence of Sai and his inscrutable power. The story goes like this. He had a small picture of Saint Baba Abdul Rahman from Muhammad Hussain Tariyat open many years ago. He gave it to his brother-in-law Noor Muhammad Pir Bhoy and it was lying on the table for 8 years. Once, the latter took it to a photographer and got it enlarged to life size and distributed copies of the same amongst his relatives and friends, including Ali Muhammad, who fixed it up in his Bandra house. Noor Muhammad was a disciple of Saint Abdul Rahman, and when he went to present the picture to him in an open darbar held by him, the Guru got wild and ran to beat him and drove him out. He felt sorry and dejected. He also thought that he spent so much of money and incurred his Guru's displeasure and wrath. As his Guru, Baba Abdul Rahman, did not like image worship, he took the enlarged picture of Baba Rahman with him to the Apollo Bandar and after hiring a boat, took it and drowned it in the sea. He requested the friends and relatives to return their copies and after giving them all back, he had them drowned in the Bandra Sea. At this time, Ali Muhammad was in his brother-in-law's house. He was told by him that his suffering would come to an end if he would soon drown the pictures of the other saints also in the sea. On hearing this, Ali Muhammad sent Mehta, his manager, to his Bandra house and got all the pictures of the saints in the house to be thrown into the sea. When Ali Muhammad returned home after 2 months, he was surprised to find Sai Baba's picture on the wall as before. He did not understand how Mehta took away all the pictures except this. He immediately took it out and kept it in his cupboard, fearing that if his brother-in-law saw it, he would do away with it. While he was thinking how it should be disposed of and who would keep it with care, Sai Baba himself, as it were, suggested to him that he should see and consult Maulana Ismu Mujawar and abide by his opinion. He met the Maulana and told him everything. After much consultation, they both decided that the picture should be presented to Anna Sahib or Hemat Pant and that he would protect it well. Then they both went to Hemat Pant and presented him the picture in the nick of time. This story shows how Baba knew all the past, present and future and how skillfully he pulled the wires and fulfilled desires of his devotees. The following story shows that Baba liked very much those who took real interest in spiritual matters and that he removed all their difficulties and made them happy. Stealing the rags and reading of Dhyaneshwari. Mr. B.V. Dev, who was Mamlatdar of Dahanu in Thana district, wished for a long time to read Dhyaneshwari, the well-known Marathi commentary on the Bhagavad Gita by Dhyaneshwar. He also wanted to read other scriptures. He could read daily 1 chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, but when he took Dhyaneshwari in hand, some difficulties cropped up and he was precluded from reading it. He took 3 months' leave, went to Shirdi and thence to his home at Paud for rest. He could read there other books, but when he opened Dhyaneshwari, some evil or stray thoughts came crowding up in his mind and stopped him in the effort. Try as much as he could, he was not able to read even a few lines of the book with ease. So he resolved in his mind that when Baba would create love for the book and would order him to read it, he would begin and not till then. Then in the month of February 1914, he went with his family to Shirdi. There, Jog asked him whether he reads Dhyaneshwari daily. Dev replied that he wanted to read it but was not successful and that only when Baba would order him to read it, he would commence. Jog then advised him to take a copy of the book and present it to Baba and start the reading after it was consecrated and returned by him. Dev replied he did not want to resort to this device as Baba knows his heart. Would he not know his desire and satisfy it by giving him a clear order to read? Dev then saw Baba and offered him 1 rupee as dakshina. Baba asked for 20 rupees, which he gave. At night, he met one Balakram and inquired from him as to how he secured Baba's devotion and grace. Balakram told him he would communicate everything the next day after Aarti. When Dev went for darshan the next day, Baba asked again for 20 rupees, which he gave willingly. As the masjid was crowded, Dev went aside and sat in a corner. Baba asked him to come closer and sit with a calm mind, which Dev did. Then after the noon Aarti was over and the men dispersed, Dev saw Balakram again and asked him his previous experiences, what Baba told him and how he was taught meditation. While Balakram was going to reply, Baba sent one Chandru, a leper devotee, to call Dev to him. When Dev went to Baba, the latter asked him with whom and what he was talking. He said he was with Balakram and heard from him his fame. Then Baba asked again for 25 rupees as dakshina, which Dev gave gladly. Baba took him inside and sitting near the post, charged him saying, "You stole away my rags without my knowledge." Dev denied any knowledge of the rags, but Baba asked him to make a search. He searched but found none. Then Baba got angry and said, "There is nobody here. You are the only thief, grey-haired and old. You came here for stealing." After this, Baba lost his temper, got terribly wild, gave all sorts of abuses and scoldings. Dev remained silent and apprehended that he might get a beating too. After about an hour or so, Baba asked him to go to the Wada. He returned to the Wada and told Jog and Balakram all that had happened. Then, in the afternoon, Baba sent for all of them and said that his words might have pained the old man, Dev, but as he had committed the theft, he could not resist but take him to task. Then Baba asked again for 12 rupees. Dev collected the amount, paid it, and prostrated himself before Baba. Then Baba said to him, "Go on reading the Dhyaneshwari daily. Go and sit in the Wada. Read regularly every day, and while reading, explain the portion read to all with love and devotion. I am sitting here ready to give you the whole gold embroidered shela. Then why go to others to steal rags? And why should you get into the habit of stealing?" Dev was much pleased to hear the words of Baba, for he directly asked him to start reading Dhyaneshwari. He thought that he got what he wanted and that he could read the book with ease. He again prostrated himself before Baba and said he surrendered himself to him and that he should be treated as a child and be helped in his reading. He realized then what Baba meant by stealing the rags. What he asked Balakram constituted the rags, and Baba did not like his behavior in this respect. As he was ready to answer all his questions, he did not like him to ask others and make unnecessary inquiries, and therefore he scolded him. Dev thought that he really did not scold him, but taught that he was ready to fulfill his desires and there was no use asking others in vain. Dev took these scoldings as blessings and went home satisfied and contented. The matter did not end there. Baba did not stop with only issuing an order to read. Within a year he went to Dev and inquired about his progress. On 2nd April 1914, on Thursday morning, Baba gave him a dream. He sat on the upper floor and asked him whether he understood the pothi. "No," answered Dev. Baba said, "Then when are you going to understand?" Dev burst into tears and said, "Unless you shower your grace, the reading is mere burden. and the understanding is still more difficult. Baba said, while reading, you make haste. Read it before me, in my presence. Dev asked, what shall I read? Baba said, read Adhyatma, spiritualism. Dev went in to bring the book. When he opened his eyes, he was fully awakened. We leave the readers to imagine what ineffable joy and bliss Dev felt after this vision. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Chapter 42. Baba's Passing Away. Previous indication: averting death of Ramchandra Dada Patil and Tatya Kote Patil. Charity to Lakshmibai Shinde. Last moment. This chapter describes the passing away of Baba. Preliminary. The stories given in the previous chapters have shown that the light of Guru's grace removes fear of the mundane existence, opens the path of salvation, and turns our misery into happiness. If we always remember the feet of the Sadguru, our troubles come to an end, death loses its sting, and the misery of this mundane existence is obliterated. Therefore, those who care for their welfare should carefully listen to these stories of Sai Samarth, which will purify their minds. In the beginning, Hemad Pant dwells on Dr. Pandit's worship and is marking Baba's forehead with Tripund, 3 horizontal lines. But as this has already been described in chapter 11, it has been omitted here. Previous indication. The readers up till now heard the stories of Baba's life. Let them now hear attentively Baba's passing away. Baba got a slight fever on 28 September 1918. The fever lasted for 2 or 3 days, but later Baba gave up his food and thereby grew weaker and weaker. On the 17th day, Tuesday the 15th October 1918, Baba left his mortal coil at about 2:30 p.m. 2 years before this, in 1916, Baba gave an indication of his passing away, but nobody understood it then. It was as follows. On the Vijayadashmi day, Baba all of a sudden got into wild rage in the evening, when people were returning from Simolangan, crossing the border or limits of the village. Taking off his headdress, kafni and langota, he tore them and threw them in the dhuni before him. On being fed this offering, the fire in the dhuni began to burn brighter, and Baba shone still brighter. He stood there stark naked, and with his burning red eyes shouted, "You fellows now have a look and decide, finally, whether I am a Muslim or a Hindu." Everybody was trembling with fear, and no one dared to approach Baba. After some time, Bhagoji Shinde, the leper devotee of Baba, went boldly near him and succeeded in tying a langot around his waist. And he said, "Baba, what is all this? Today is Simolangan, Dasara holiday." Baba, striking the ground with his satka, said, "This is my Simolangan." Baba did not cool down till 11 p.m. and the people doubted whether the Chavadi procession would ever take place that night. After an hour, Baba resumed his normal condition and, dressing himself as usual, attended the Chavadi procession as described before. By this incident, Baba gave a suggestion that Dasara was a proper time for him to cross the border of life, but none understood its meaning then. Baba gave another indication also as follows. Averting death of Ramchandra and Tatya Patil. Some time after this, Ramchandra Patil became seriously ill. He suffered a lot. He tried all remedies, but finding no relief, despaired of his life and was waiting for the last moment. Then, one midnight, Baba suddenly stood near his bed. Patil held his feet and said, "I've lost all hopes of life. Please tell me definitely when I shall die." Merciful Baba said, "Do not be anxious. Your hundi has been withdrawn, and you will soon recover. But I am afraid of Tatya Patil. He will pass away on Vijayadashmi of 1918 AD. Do not divulge this to anybody, not to him, for he will be terribly frightened. Ramchandra Dada got well, but he felt nervous about Tatya's life, for he knew that Baba's word was unalterable and that Tatya would breathe his last within 2 years. He kept this hint a secret, told it to no one but to Bala Shimpi, a tailor. Only these two persons, Ramchandra Dada and Bala Shimpi, were in fear and suspense regarding Tatya's life. Ramchandra Dada soon left his bed and was on his legs. Time passed quickly. The month of Bhadrapad of Shaka 1840-1918 was ending, and Ashwin was approaching. True to Baba's word, Tatya fell sick and was bedridden, and so he could not come for Baba's darshan. Baba was also down with fever. Tatya had full faith in Baba. Tatya's illness began to grow from bad to worse, and he could not move at all, but always remembered Baba. The predicament of Baba began to grow equally worse. The day predicted, that is Vijayadashmi, was impending, and both Ramchandra Dada and Bala Shimpi were terribly frightened about Tatya, and their bodies, trembling and perspiring with fear, thought that, as predicted by Baba, Tatya's end was near. Vijayadashmi dawned, and Tatya's pulse began to beat very slow, and he was expected to pass away shortly. But a curious thing happened. Tatya remained, his death was averted, and Baba passed away instead. It seemed as if there was an exchange. People said that Baba gave up his life for Tatya. Why did he do so? He alone knows, as his ways are inscrutable. It seems, however, that in this incident, Baba gave a hint of his passing away, substituting Tatya's name for his own. Next morning, 16th October, Baba appeared to Das Ganu at Pandharpur in his dream and said to him, "The masjid collapsed. All the oilmen and grocers of Shirdi harassed me a lot, so I leave the place. I therefore come to inform you here. Go there quickly and cover me with buckle flowers." Das Ganu got the information too from Shirdi letters. So he came to Shirdi with his disciples and started bhajan and kirtan and sang the Lord's name all throughout the day before Baba's samadhi. Himself weaving a beautiful garland of Lord Hari's name, he placed it on Baba's samadhi and gave a mass feeding in Baba's name. Charity to Lakshmi Bai. Dasara or Vijayadashmi is regarded by all the Hindus as the most auspicious time, and it is befitting that Baba should choose this time for his crossing the border line. He was ailing some days before the last moment. He sat up without anybody's aid and looked better. People thought that the danger had passed off and he was getting well. He knew that he was to pass away soon, and therefore he wanted to give away some money as charity to Lakshmi Bai Shinde. Baba pervading all creatures. This Lakshmi Bai Shinde was a good and well-to-do woman. She was serving in the masjid day and night. Except Bhagat Mahalsapati, Tatya and Lakshmi Bai, none was allowed to step in the masjid at night. Once, while Baba was sitting in the masjid with Tatya in the evening, Lakshmi Bai came and saluted Baba. The latter said to her, "Oh Lakshmi, I am very hungry." Off she went saying, "Baba, wait a bit, I will return immediately with bread." She did return with bread and vegetables and placed the same before Baba. He took it and gave it to a dog. Lakshmi Bai then asked, "What is this, Baba? I ran in haste, prepared bread with my own hands for you, and you threw it to a dog without eating a morsel of it? You gave me trouble unnecessarily?" Baba replied, "Why do you grieve for nothing? The the appeasement of the dog's hunger is the same as mine. The dog has a soul. The creatures may be different, but the hunger of all is the same, though some speak and others are dumb. Know for certain that he who feeds the hungry really serves me with food. Regard this as truth. This is an ordinary incident, but Baba thereby propounded a great spiritual truth and showed its practical application in daily life without hurting anybody's feelings. From this time onward, Lakshmi Bai began to offer him daily bread and milk with love and devotion. Baba accepted it and ate it lovingly. He took a part of this and sent the remainder through Lakshmi Bai to Radha Krishna Mai, who always relished and ate Baba's remnant prasad. This bread story should not be considered as a digression. It shows how Sai Baba pervaded all the creatures and transcended them. He is omnipresent, birthless, deathless, and immortal. Baba remembered Lakshmi Bai's service. How could he forget her? Just before leaving the body, he put his hand in his pocket and gave her just 5 rupees and then 4 rupees. In all, 9 rupees. This figure 9 is indicative of the 9 types of devotion described in chapter 21, or it may be the dakshina offered at the time of Simolangan. Lakshmi Bai was a well-to-do woman, and so she was not in want of any money. Baba might have suggested to her and brought to her notice the 9 characteristics of a good disciple mentioned in the 6th verse of chapter 10, Skanda 11 of the Bhagavad, wherein first 5 and then 4 characteristics are mentioned in the first and second couplets. Baba's gift of 9, she will remember ever. Being so watchful, Baba also took other precautions in his last moment. He ordered them all to clear off with due consideration for his devotees. Kaka Sahib Dikshit, Bapu Sahib Bhutti, and others were in the masjid anxiously waiting upon Baba, but he asked them to go to the Wada and return after meals. They could not leave Baba's presence, nor could they disobey him. So with heavy hearts and heavy feet, they went to the Wada. They knew that Baba's condition was very serious and that they did not forget this. They sat for meals, but their mind was elsewhere. It was with Baba. Before they finished, news came to them of Baba's shedding the mortal coil. Leaving their dishes, they ran to the masjid and found that Baba rested finally on Bayaji's lap. He did not collapse on the ground, nor did he lie on his bed, but sitting quietly on his seat and doing charity with his own hand, left the mortal coil. Saints embody themselves and come into this world with a definite mission, and after that is fulfilled, they pass away as quietly and easily as they came. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
आदिनारायणो देवो यो मदीर्नो महीतले अनुग्रहाय भक्तानां तं वन्दे साई सत्तमम् सगुण ब्रह्म साईशो गोतावरितडागतः संरक्षणाय भक्तानां भूयो भूयो नमामि तं भूयो भूयो नमामि तं.
Chapter 43 and 44. Baba's passing away continued. Preparation, Samadhi Mandir, breaking of the brick, 72 hours Samadhi. Jogs Sannyas, Baba's nectar-like words. Chapters 43 and 44 continue the story of Baba's passing away, and therefore they are taken together. Previous preparation. It is the general practice amongst the Hindus that when a man is about to die, some good religious scripture is read out to him with the object that his mind should be withdrawn from worldly things and fixed in spiritual matters, so that his future progress should be natural and easy. Everybody knows that when King Parikshit was cursed by the son of a Brahmin Rishi and was to die after a week, the great sage Sukhdev expounded to him the famous Bhagavad Puran in that week. This practice is followed even now, and the Gita, Bhagavad and other sacred books are read out to dying persons. Baba, being an incarnation of God, needed no such help, but just to set an example to the people, he followed this practice. When he knew that he was to pass away, he asked one Mr. Vaz to read Ram Vijay to him. Mr. Vaz read the book once in the week. Then Baba asked him to read the same again day and night, and he finished the second reading in 3 days. Thus 11 days passed. Then again he read for 3 days and was exhausted. So Baba let him go and kept himself quiet. He abided in himself and was waiting for the last moment. 2 or 3 days earlier, Baba had stopped his morning walks and begging rounds and sat quietly in the masjid. He was conscious till the last and was advising the devotees not to lose heart. He let nobody know the exact time of his departure. Kaka Sahib Dikshit and Shriman Bhutti were dining daily with him in the masjid. That day, 15th October, after the Aarti, he asked them to go to their residence for dining. Still a few, like Lakshmi Bai Shinde, Bagoji Shinde, Bayaji, Lakshman Bala Shimpi and Nana Sahib Nimonkar remained there. Shama was sitting down on the steps. After giving 9 rupees to Lakshmi Bai Shinde, Baba said he was not feeling well there in the masjid and that he should be taken to the Vada Bhutti, where he would be all right. While saying these last words, he leaned on Bayaji's body and breathed his last. Bhagoji noticed that his breathing had stopped, and he immediately told this to Nana Sahib Nimonkar, who was sitting nearby. Nana Sahib brought some water and poured it in Baba's mouth. The water came out. Then he cried loudly, "Oh Deva!" Baba seemed to open his eyes and say "Ah" in a low tone. But it soon became evident that Baba had left his mortal body for good. The news of Baba's passing away spread like a wildfire in the village of Shirdi, and all people, men, women, children ran to the masjid and began to mourn this loss in various ways. Some cried out loudly, some wallowed on, and some fell down senseless in the streets. Tears ran down from the eyes of all, and everyone was filled with sorrow. Some people started remembering the words of Sai Baba. Somebody said that Maharaj told his devotees that in time to come, he would appear as a lad of 8 years. These are the words of a saint, and hence nobody should take doubt about them, because in the Krishna avatar, Chakrapani or Lord Vishnu performed this very deed. Krishna appeared before Devaki in the prison as a lad of 8 years, who had bright complexion and who wielded weapons in his 4 arms. In that incarnation, Lord Krishna lightened the burden of the earth. This incarnation of Sai Baba was for the uplift of his devotees. Then, where is the reason for doubt? The way of the saints are really inscrutable. This contact of Sai Baba with his devotees is not only for one generation, but it is there for the last 72 generations. Generating such ties of love, it appears that Maharaj Sai Baba has gone for a tour, and the devotees had a firm belief that he will return soon. Then the question arose, how to lay Baba's body to rest. Some Muslims said that the body should be interred in an open space and a tomb built over it. Even Kushal Chand and Amir Shakkar shared this opinion. But Ramchandra Patil, the village officer, said to the villagers with a firm and decided tone, "Your thought is not acceptable to us. Baba's body should be placed nowhere except in the Wada." Thus, people were divided on this point, and discussion regarding this went on for 36 hours. On Wednesday morning, Baba appeared to Lakshman Mama Joshi in his dream, and drawing him by his hand said, "Get up soon. Bapu Sahib thinks I am dead, and so he won't come. You do the worship and the Kakad Aarti." Lakshman Mama was a village astrologer and the maternal uncle of Shama. He was an orthodox Brahmin and daily worshipped Baba first thing in the morning and then all the village deities. He had full faith in Baba. After the vision, he came with all the puja materials, and not minding the protests of the Maulvis, he did the puja and the Kakad Aarti with due formalities and went away. Then, at noon, Bapu Sahib Jog came with all the others and went through the noon Aarti ceremony as usual. After paying due respect to Baba's words, the people decided to place his body in the Wada and started digging the central portion there. In the evening of Tuesday, the sub-inspector came from Rahata and others turned up from other places, and they all agreed to the proposal. Next morning, Amir Bhai came from Mumbai and Mamlatdar from Kopargaon. The people seemed divided in their opinion. Some insisted on interring his body in the open field. The Mamlatdar, therefore, took a general plebiscite and found that the proposal to use the Wada secured double the number of votes. He, however, wanted to refer the matter to the collector, and Kaka Sahib Dixit got himself ready to go to Ahmednagar. In the meanwhile, by Baba's inspiration, there was a change in the opinion of the other people, and all the people unanimously voted for the proposal. On Wednesday evening, Baba's body was taken in a procession and brought to the Wada and was interred there with due formalities in the Garbha, the central portion reserved for Murlidhar. In fact, Baba became the Murlidhar, and the Wada became a temple and holy shrine where so many devotees since then have been going to find rest and peace. All the rituals for Baba were duly performed by Bala Saheb Bhate and Upasani, a great devotee of Baba. It may be noted here that, as observed by Professor Narke, Baba's body did not get stiff, though it was exposed for 36 hours, and that all the limbs were elastic and his kafni could be taken out without being torn to pieces. Breaking of the brick. Some days before Baba's departure, there occurred an ominous sign foreboding the event. There was in the masjid an old brick on which Baba rested his hand and sat. At night, he leaned against it and had his asan. This went on for many years. One day, during Baba's absence, a boy who was sweeping the floor took it up in his hand, and unfortunately it slipped and fell down and got broken into 2 pieces. When Baba came to know about this, he bemoaned its loss, saying, "It is not the brick, but my fate that has been broken into pieces. It was my lifelong companion. With it, I always meditated on the self. It was as dear to me as my life. It has left me today." Some may raise a question here. Why should Baba express this sorrow for such an inanimate thing as a brick? To this, Hemat Pant replies that saints incarnate in this world with the express mission of saving the poor, helpless people. And when they embody themselves and act with the people, they act like them. That is, outwardly they laugh, play and cry like all the other people, but inwardly they are wide awake to their duties and mission. 72 Hours Samadhi. 32 years before this, in 1886, Baba made an attempt to cross the border line. On a Marg Shirsha Purnima day, Baba suffered from a severe attack of asthma. To get rid of it, Baba decided to take his pran high up and go into samadhi. He said to Bhagat Mahalsapati, "Protect my body for 3 days. If I return, it will be all right. If I do not, bury my body in that open land and fix 2 flags there as a mark." After saying this, Baba fell down at about 10 p.m. His breathing stopped as well as his pulse. It seemed as if his pran had left the body. All the people, including the villagers who came there and wanted to hold an inquest and bury the body in the place pointed by Baba. But Mahalsapati prevented this. With Baba's body on his lap, he sat full 3 days guarding it. After 3 days passed, Baba showed signs of life at 3 in the morning. His breathing commenced. His abdomen began to move. His eyes opened, and stretching his limbs, Baba returned to consciousness again. From this and other accounts, let the readers consider whether Sai Baba was a 3.5 cubits body that he occupied for some years and that he left thereafter, or he was the self inside. The body, composed of the 5 elements, is perishable and transient, but the self within is the thing, the absolute reality, which is immortal and intransient. This pure being, consciousness or Brahma, the ruler and controller of the senses and mind, is Sai. This pervades all things in the universe and there is no space without it. For fulfilling his mission, he assumed the body, and after it was fulfilled, he threw away the body and assumed his infinite aspect. Sai ever lives, as also the previous incarnation of God Dattatreya, Sri Narasimha Saraswati of Gangapur. His passing away is only an outward aspect, but in reality he pervades all animate and inanimate things and is their controller and ruler. This can be and is even now experienced by many who surrender themselves completely to him and worship him with wholehearted devotion. Though it is not possible for us to see Baba's form now, but if we go to Shirdi, we shall find his beautiful lifelike portrait adorning the masjid. This has been drawn by Shamrao Jayakar, a famous artist and well-known devotee of Baba. To an imaginative and devout spectator, this portrait can give even today the satisfaction of taking Baba's darshan. Though Baba had no outward body now, he lives there and everywhere and will affect the welfare of the devotees even now, as he was doing before when he was embodied. Saints like Baba never die. Though they look like men, they are in reality God himself. Bapu Sahib Jog's Sannyas. Hemad Pant closes this chapter with the account of Jog's sannyas. Sakharam Hari, alias Bapu Sahib Jog, was the uncle of the famous Barkari Vishnu Bua Jog of Pune. He had no issue. After his retirement from government service in 1909, he came and lived in Shirdi with his wife. Both husband and wife loved Baba and spent all their time in worshipping and serving Baba. After Megha's death, Bapu Sahib daily did the Arati ceremony in the masjid and Chawadi till Baba's Mahasamadhi. He was also entrusted with the work of reading and explaining Dhyaneshwari and Eknati Bhagvat in Sathe's Vada to the audience. After serving for many years, Jog asked Baba, "I have served you for so long. My mind is not yet calm and composed. How is it that my contact with saints has not improved me? When will you bless me?" Hearing the Bhakta's prayer, Baba replied, "In due time, your bad actions will be destroyed. Your merits and demerits will be reduced to ashes, and I shall consider you blessed when you will renounce all attachments, conquer lust and sense of taste, and getting rid of all impediments, serve God wholeheartedly and resort to the begging bowl." After some time, Baba's words came true. His wife predeceased him, and as he had no other attachment, he became free and accepted sannyas before his death and realized the goal of his life. Baba's nectar-like words. The kind and merciful Sai Baba said many a time the following sweet words in the masjid. He who loves me most always sees me. The whole world is desolate to him without me. He who tells no stories but mine. He ceaselessly meditates upon me and always chants my name. I feel indebted to him who surrenders himself completely to me and ever remembers me. I shall repay his debt by giving him salvation. I am dependent on him who thinks and hungers after me, and who does not eat anything without first offering it to me. He who thus comes to me becomes one with me, just as a river gets to the sea and becomes merged with it. So leaving out pride and egoism and with no trace of them, you should surrender yourself to me, who is seated in your heart. Who is this me? Sai Baba expounded many a time who this me is. He said, "You need not go far in search of me. Barring your name and form, there exists in you as well as in all beings a sense of being or consciousness of existence. That is myself. Knowing this, you see me inside yourself as well as in all beings. If you practice this, you will realize all pervasiveness and thus attain oneness with me." Hemad Pant therefore requests the readers humbly and lovingly that they should love and respect all gods, saints and devotees. Has not Baba often said, "He who carps and cavils at others pierces me in the heart and injures me, but he that suffers and endures pleases me most." Baba thus pervades all beings and creatures and protects them from all sides. He likes nothing but love to all beings. Such nectar, pure auspicious ambrosia, always flowed from Baba's lips. He therefore concludes, "Those who lovingly sing Baba's fame and those who hear the same with devotion, both become one with Sai." Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
श्रीमत्परब्रह्म गुरुं स्मरामि। श्रीमत्परब्रह्म गुरुं नमामि। श्रीमत्परब्रह्म गुरुं यजामि। श्रीमत्परब्रह्म गुरुं भजामि।